I found this piece of paper under my bed that was a to-do list that I had probably written when I was 17 or 16, still in high school. And it was all these like check marks, so, you know, by 30, do this or whatever. And, you know, I totally had forgotten that by 40, I had written I wanted to open a store. Eldorado is the lost city of gold. So to me, it's all about what is the definition of gold. And for me, it's happiness. So all of these things that are things that I collect while I travel, they're souvenirs. I get them, you know, as I'm driving across country or out and about, you know. So each one sort of possesses a little bit of happiness to me, and it's really exciting that I get to share that with other people. I am always headed out west. I think the deserts are magical. So some of my favorite places are outside of Joshua Tree and then on your way to Arizona and New Mexico. There's just something, I'm drawn to those places. And also they have really great vintage Native American turquoise and sterling silver jewelry and just hand-beaded things that the store is really sort of a treasure chest of. I was creative in advertising. I worked at an agency in New York. I started off on the traditional side, so commercials and print pieces. I moved into digital and then really found a spot in social. So I was running Facebook accounts for big clients and, you know, pitching social ideas or videos for just shareable pieces of content for people to kind of engage with. So, I mean, it was a really great job, and it taught me a lot about how to run this business. But instead of working, you know, really long hours for somebody else, I wanted to kind of invest that time in myself. This actually is the old souvenir store for Tiger Stadium. I just kind of was trying to figure out what location I wanted to be in, and I kept coming back to this building. There's something that just spoke to me. I think it's really beautiful. It's an odd-shaped building. It's got beautiful gold pillars out front, and I found this place, went back to New York. At the time, I was still in between New York and LA, and worked up the courage for about a month to actually call to find out, is this space available? Is it for rent? Is it for, you know, can I buy it? I think that was one of the scariest phone calls that I've ever made, because it was really like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to do this. And then the next day I booked a flight and I was back here meeting with the landlord. So a lot of neighborhood people are my regulars. They come in just to say hi. I didn't expect the overwhelming following on like Instagram and stuff like that. Like they come in and they're like, oh my gosh, how was your trip? I saw you were in LA, it looked awesome. Oh my God, I was jealous of your bike ride. What did you get new in the store, you know? And I'm just like, that's so exciting, because I get to share these like moments with other people, and I just did not expect that, you know? Opening a business is, I feel like every step of the way you're coming up with, you know, answers to questions you didn't even know were questions. So I feel like every day I'm doing something new that I didn't expect I would be doing. Google is my best friend. I think one of the biggest challenges is just overcoming that hurdle of realizing nobody knows what they're doing, really. Everyone's just sort of making it up. And you just have to embrace that and just know that, you know, you have to make a decision and then just move forward, you know, and it's not life or death. Like, it's not as hard as everyone thinks it is to open a business. It just takes a lot of strength and courage, like from your inside, I think. I grew up just like 15 minutes away from Detroit, and this is a really great energy. Every time I come back to the city, when I was living in other states, I would come back and it would be really hard for me to leave. You know, there's just a really good vibe happening of a lot of doers, a lot of makers. You know, a friend of mine, he actually makes fragrances for the store, and he lives down the street, but he had told me this quote. He's like, all boats rise together, and that's exactly what this environment in Detroit is everyone's just helping everyone sort of live out their dreams, but also build a community. You know, this isn't something that happens all the time in cities, you know, which is really exciting to be a part of that. I always want to continue to push myself as much as I can. So I do envision, you know, helping more local talent. I really, you know, part of the main reason I opened Eldorado is to eventually start to infuse creativity into the school systems. I think that it's unfortunately the first thing cut. So later on down the road, once I get all my chickens and ducks in a row, like that's what I really want to do, is help giving back and showing other kids and the community that, you know, art is a viable option. To me, this is my art. I joke around like things are my medium, and luckily I was raised in a very creative environment. My biggest piece of advice is to just surround yourself with creative, inspiring people who are motivating you. You know, I think it's, you just need a support system, because you're gonna feel like you can't do it, and you absolutely can, and you just need to be reminded. I would scribble notes around my room. It would be like, you can do it, believe, you know, strength and courage. And I think that really helped, because when you don't know what you're doing, you always question yourself, am I doing the right thing? And you just need to, you know, have that strength to say, if it's not the right thing, I'll get it, you know, I'll get it right next time. And it's just about embracing imperfections and sort of leaning into those, and write everything down, because, you know, take notes, make to-do lists. It holds you accountable. Share your dreams with other people, because again, it holds you accountable, and those people can help push you towards that dream. So yeah.